Well, I am excited to present my thought leadership today. I'm a visual guy, so I decided to do kind of a presentation rather than writing a blog. It's a bit more up my alley. I wanted to talk about what a brand logo means. So going back in time in history, we're going to go through some history today. The word brand obviously comes from the word symbolizes or represents is when farmers in the old days, they would brand their cattle. Warriors would be branded with their army insignia and all these different situations. The purpose of that is to identify a multitude of items to a single cause or a single group or person, like cattle, a bunch of cattle to their farmer. And the word logo is an ancient Greek word, logos. Technically, the full word is logotype. So and it's kind of shortened. So the logos means word or word mark. And that part, like the word logo, is represented nowadays defined nowadays as like a symbol or a generic mark that's related to a business, but its origin is word. Okay, so today I'm going to go over a little bit of the history, logo design, the roots of shape and symbolism, as well as the purpose of a logo, and then the outcome that is desired for each logo design. Starting with Leonardo da Vinci, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Throughout history, it's always been necessary to keep things simple in order to reach the broadest. So we're going to be focusing a lot on that today. First things first is shapes. So obviously going all the way back to the Neanderthals, cavemen, shapes were drawn on cave walls to represent certain actions, certain items, and certain things. And so each shape that we have in today's society correlates with a certain type of feeling or a certain type of psychological connection. And so by taking advantage of shapes and design, we're able to unlock certain parts of the mind of our audience to connect with certain feelings and draw that out of a person. After that, we have symbols. So again, in the mid ages, there was this correlation between symbols of, like, let's say a lion or a bird, which then represented certain type of attributes. So a lion would represent power, royalty, and you'd see these a lot on family crests and coat of arms, stuff like that. And so all of these symbols we can again use to our advantage to reflect certain types of feelings or represent our brand in a way that attracts a certain type of audience. Next, we have monograms. It's the same kind of idea, whether it was like a family name, company name, a monogram, which is basically a series of letters stacked on top of each other, or a single letter can represent the title of a company or our name. So now to the purpose of a logo. This is where I think in today's society, people get really confused on how to use a logo, where to use it, and what it's for. A logo is not the brand, okay? It is a symbol that's connected to the right. And in the background, I have Apple's logo, Nike's logo, and Ford's logo. These have nothing to do with what the company actually does, right? Like, you can't understand that Nike is a massive shoe company from their swoosh. That's just not correlation. But when you see Nike, you think shoes. Same with Apple. And Apple doesn't have any correlation with technology. However, that's the image that they wanted to use to connect to their company. And so that's the goal that we're trying to search for when we're designing logos. Again, with the purpose, a logo is supposed to represent proper message, whether that's sophistication, whether that's technology, whether that's action, whatever it is that the brand is trying to represent, the logo needs to have some sort of correlation to that. It needs to catch the attention audience, proper audience, right? So this is where those symbols and shapes come into play to be able to attract the specific audience. And then lastly, it needs to communicate quickly whatever all the feelings that you're trying to pass over to your audience. So whether that's joy or happiness or warmth or precision, those types of things, these need to be represented in the logo. So I wanted to use this example. I created this logo for a podcasting company, basically a podcast. And the idea behind this was to have the related symbol of a microphone be part of that symbol, right? So with this, we were able to obviously understand the kind of the shape here. It's showing that microphone shape. So that's the related symbol I chose. to catch the eye of an individual, the best way to do that is to have things geometric and to have things symmetric. So with this logo, I tried to do that very well using circles and squares, right? So this logo is just made up of, a cut off piece of circle in a square shape, and it's symmetrical, right? Both on the Y and X axis. So the geometric shape of it and the symmetry of this logo will allow the eye to be caught by it and memorize it a lot easier. Last thing, I kind of, rolled off of a common phrase called KISS, which stands for keep it simple, stupid. So this is kind of funny to me because I added simple and scalable for a logo. And this is able to communicate things quickly in any type of circumstance, right? So whether it's on a billboard on the highway or freeway or tiny icon on an app or website, you're able to clearly understand and recognize what that logo both represents and what it's connected to. So those are the main things on the purpose of a logo. Then lastly, the outcome of the logo. Biggest thing we want, or you would want as a business owner, is the outcome to have a psychological advantage over your customers, clientele, and audience, to attract that proper audience and to last forever. Quick story, if you are familiar with Chase Bank, their logo was created, I believe, in the 1970s. And it's basically an octagon with four sides that kind of are like four cutout rectangles. Now that was created in the 70s, before the internet, before apps, before phones. And yet, since it was such a well-made logo, meaning it was symmetric, simple, and scalable, it was able to be transferred over to apps and websites and other marketing in today's age very, very easily. And so that's the goal that we want to have for a logo that you design, to have it timeless, to have it attract the type of audience, and to use those psychological advantages that you can as a designer to be able to portray what you're wanting to portray to your audience. So that's kind of my thought leadership for you guys, and I hope it's educational and you got a lot out of it.